Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Denae. I'm a stay-at-home mom to a 2.5-year-old little boy named Gunnar, and we are currently trying to conceive baby number 2. So I post content here on my channel on motherhood and lifestyle 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Sometimes life happens though, and it doesn't always work out that way, but I really am trying to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule this year. And if you are not new to my channel, then you know we have had our fair share of sickness in the past year. Pretty much since Gunnar started preschool in September, from September to November, literally one of us, at least one of us, was sick every single week for those 2 months. And now that we are kind of over that hurdle of starting off school right away, you know, and everybody's spreading their germs and getting everyone sick and kind of just passing it back and forth to each other, knock on wood, it's been a little more sporadic since then, and we've been much more healthier these last couple of months. Just a few sicknesses here and there. So we are, though, in the midst, smack dab, right in the middle of flu season, and I figured what better time than now to share with you some of my absolute favorite must-have products to use for when your babies and toddlers are sick. And I have some things that I want to share with you, things that I swear by, especially if you're a new parent or about to be a new parent, or you're a parent to a toddler for the first time and you're not really sure what to do. I mean, we're kind of learning as we go as well. So I really wanted to just share with you some of the things that we use regularly when Gunnar is sick. All but one of these products are actually safe and good to use on infants and babies, not just your toddlers. And there's just one product in particular that your child has to be 2 years and older to use. And all of these things too are great to use on us as adults. So I am going to show you all of these like really great things that you can use on your little ones when they are sick. So the very first thing that I don't actually physically have here with me right now because it's a little bulky and cumbersome and it's filled with water, but that is a humidifier. I think everybody who has a little one, even if you don't have a little one, you should definitely have a Cool Mist humidifier in your household, especially if you have a little one, but also especially during the winter months when it tends to be a little extra dry. I mean, my hands are like so dry and cracked and peeling and they hurt. And imagine what that is doing to your little ones' skin and insides, and it's really good just to have a humidifier on hand. When you think about it, our little ones cannot tell us if something is wrong with them. I mean, we kind of can listen to their cues and, you know, maybe they're running a fever or something, but we don't always know what is bothering them. You know, they can't tell us, you know, this is how I'm feeling, or this is what's wrong with me, or this hurts, or I can't breathe. And when we're sick and we can't breathe or we're congested, you know, just think about how miserable that is for them. There are things that we can do. There are nose sprays, there are over-the-counter medicines, antibiotics, things that we can take to help us feel better. Our little ones can't always do that. There's just not a lot of remedies out there for them. So we have to heavily rely on like homeopathic, natural things to help not necessarily cure them, but make them feel a little more comfortable. And a humidifier really does that by just putting moisture into the air. So there are so many different humidifiers out there on the market. The one that we really like and prefer is the Crane brand. They have a bunch of different styles that you can choose from. They have like the just simple teardrop shape. We have one of the animal ones. We have a hippopotamus. Gunnar actually calls it a robot because he thinks it looks like a robot, but it's super cute and it's fun and playful for a little baby or a toddler's room. But we use it too, so it doesn't have to just be for a child. My grandmother was actually here visiting us this past week, and the very next day that she was here, she had a nosebleed just from the dry air and from traveling in an airplane. So we popped that sucker right in her room and it helped to clear things up for her. So you don't have to be a kid to use a fun little animal one, but just make sure that when you do get one that you're cleaning it out regularly based on the manufacturer's recommendations. You know, when you let water sit in them for too long, it can get stagnant, bacteria collects, and you don't want to be shooting like nasty, gross water into the air because that kind of defeats the purpose. But a humidifier is definitely a must, especially when you have little ones. The next product that I want to share with you is a nose aspirator. And a lot of us are familiar with those like bulb aspirators that you get from the hospital, and they're like really old school and they're really gross in my opinion. I don't think that they work at all. I don't like them. I'm not a fan of them. I've thrown all of them away, any that we ever received from anyone. I just don't like them. When you think about sticking that thing up their nose and sucking the stuff out, first of all, I don't really feel like it does a good job of getting everything out of their nose. And second, like, is it really getting clean when you clean that out? I really don't even want to think about what's inside of that. If you were to cut open one of those bulb aspirators, I think it's going to be gross because, like, are you really getting all of the, like, snot and mucus that you've sucked out of their nose out of it? And then when you think about it too, like, is it really drying inside? So then is there mold inside and then you're sticking that in your child's nose? I just don't like it. I don't think they're good. I don't recommend them at all. The one thing that I do recommend is this guy. And this is the Nose Frida Snot Sucker. And yes, it does exactly what it sounds like it does. And yes, it sounds very gross. Most people are terrified of this thing when they first get it. I will admit I was one of those people, but this is the most genius thing that I've ever heard of, ever used. And it really, really works better than any other bulb syringe or other nose aspirator that's out there. So basically what you have is this tube, which is clear by the way, and it comes apart like completely. So you can really make sure and see that it is clean. I love this thing so much. I have 2 of them because I just feel like you can't have enough. So then the other parts of these also, I mean, it all just comes apart. So the hose comes off. Oh my Lord, there's like a suction on it. I can't even get it off. Anyways, the hose really does come off, I promise you, because I clean it all the time. And then you have these little blue filters right here that pop out, and you can buy extra of these and just change them out when you need to. But this pops on, and this is what actually goes in the child's nose. And you just kind of use a circular motion. Your mouth goes on this red piece, and you literally suck the snot and mucus out of your child's nose. And trust me, none of it gets into your mouth. I promise you, you have that filter there blocking all of it. And then when you're done with it, you can just pop it in the sink, clean it out, and let it dry, and you're good to go. So I cannot recommend this thing enough. It is not invasive at all. It's not painful for them. It doesn't hurt them in any way. It might be kind of weird and uncomfortable for them, but I mean, anybody getting something shoved up their nose, like, it's not going to be comfortable. But it really works, and it truly, like, by you using that circular motion, it's like, I don't know what it does, but it like has this like force of nature sucking everything from the walls of your nostril into this tube. And it really does do wonders for helping them to breathe easier, to feel better, to just get all of that gross gunk out of their nose. So speaking of noses, another thing that is really, really helpful for everyone, but especially for little babies and toddlers, is saline spray. So we really love the Little Remedies. There's so many different brands out there, and there's also different versions that you can use. But basically all you do is you put the little tip of this into the nostril and you just spray it a couple times. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, maybe I'll do this. You see that? I don't know if you can see that. But it just sprays like a fine mist into your nose, and you spray it a few times into each nostril, and it just does a really good job of loosening up the mucus and just helping to suck all of it out with the snot sucker. And even as adults, helping us to just be able to blow our nose and get all of that crud and nastiness out, because you don't want it draining down into your throat. You don't want it making you sick and nauseous and gross, and you just want to clear it all out. So definitely recommend a saline spray, but especially the Little Remedies. This one is just really, really good, and it specifically says that it's safe for newborns. Also for noses are the infamous boogie wipes. And I know as like a first-time parent, you kind of wonder, what is so big and great about a boogie wipe? Can't you just use like a regular like diaper wipe or Kleenex, tissue, anything like that? No. Boogie wipes are made with saline. Same thing that you're using in your nose already with that saline spray. And I really like this green one because it has a really pretty like fresh scent to it. But the other thing is it's not irritating. When you think about how often we wipe our noses and blow them, they get raw and red and irritated. These do not irritate, they don't burn. Trust me, when I'm in a pinch, I have used a diaper wipe and I think it burns the nose. Like it gets irritated. These don't do that at all. And I will say, there's different versions of the Boogie wipes to use, but there's also other like knockoff brands, store brands that you can use. I have tried some of the other ones out on the market and I don't like them nearly as much as I like the actual Boogie wipes brand. They are a little more pricey, but you can get them on sale. You can, use coupons and things like that on them. I just think these are way better than any of the other ones that I've used. Some of the other ones are a little more dry, or they don't have a pleasant scent to them, or they just don't do as good of a job. But these just do a really good job of wiping away any boogers and like nasty like snot that's coming out of their nose, and it's not irritating for them. So sometimes your kiddo gets a cough, and again, a cough is not something that is really easy to treat when you have a little one. I actually found this because one of my friends here on YouTube, Libby, I will link to her channel below because she actually did a video a while back on some of her favorite products, and that's how I found this. But she had recommended this Oil Logic stuffy nose and cough, and basically, this is just essential oils that you are putting on your little one, and it's safe. You do have to have, your baby does need to be 6 months and older. I'm sorry. So in the beginning, I said there was only one product that you couldn't use. This cannot be used on newborns. But 6 months and up, you can use this. And this is just made with essential oils. It's truly like lavender, eucalyptus. There's some like citrus oils in there, and it smells amazing. I mean, it smells so good. But basically what this does is it helps to just like loosen up whatever they have going on in their chest. Little ones cannot use Vicks Vapor Rub like we can as adults, and you just slather it all over your chest and your feet and all of that, and it just like feels so great. This stuff kind of works in place of that, but it's safer and it's pretty effective. I have to say, like, I feel like this is kind of what got me over that like jumping on the bandwagon of essential oils. I'm not crazy about essential oils. I don't like use them all over and for everything, but I'm slowly working my way into them, and I'm finding because of this stuff, like I'm hooked on it. Like I've definitely noticed a difference with using this on him. And so basically all you do is rub a little bit on the bottom of their feet and then put some socks on. Put a little bit on their chest and a little bit on the back of their neck. And Gunnar is to the point where he actually likes putting this stuff on himself when he's sick. And he does a great job with it. And it's something that gets him excited and not thinking, oh, it's just medicine, and sometimes medicine can be scary for kids, especially when you're doing all of these things like shoving tubes up their nose to get the snot out and putting saline up and wiping their nose. They don't like any of that stuff. It's not fun for them at all. But this has actually become fun for him to use when he is sick. He knows how to put it on, and I make sure that he puts it on properly, but it kind of gets him involved and makes it a little bit easier for him to do his medicine. So I definitely recommend this stuff. I know that they have other like versions of the roller ball out, and that's basically all it is just like a little, almost like a perfume roller ball. But I don't remember what the other ones are for, but this one is definitely for cough, and it works wonders. Another thing that really works when you are congested or have a little bit of a cough, at least for us adults, is just to take a nice like hot steamy shower or warm bath. But as little ones, of course, they can't do that. So I love using the Johnson Soothing Vapor Bath, and I will run a nice warm bath for Gunnar, and I will just squirt some of this into the bath water, and it has that like similar scent like a vapor rub, kind of like, I don't know what that is. Is it menthol? But the vapors just kind of work into the warm bath water, and they get into his nose and just help to loosen anything up that he has going on in his chest, whether it's a cough or congestion. It helps to clear out his nasal passages. And I mean, you really just can't go wrong with anything by Johnson's Baby, especially. This is also safe for infants and little babies, not just your toddlers. And it really just helps to provide a soothing and kind of relaxing environment for them. And it's also hyperallergenic. It's very gentle. It doesn't burn or sting if they get it in their eyes or in their face. So I really, really, really love this stuff. So the next product that I want to share with you is the product that is for ages 2 to 12. And works really well when they have a little bit of a cold or a cough coming on, and that is the Hylands for Kids Colds and Mucus. This one is the nighttime version. They do have a daytime one, but honestly, I find that the nighttime one works a lot better than the daytime version, and I actually give this to him during the day as well. It does not make him drowsy. It doesn't keep him up at night. It actually does a really good job. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the difference is, I guess, between the daytime and the nighttime versions, but I do find that this one works a little bit better in just clearing things up a little bit quicker than the daytime one. So this is for mucus and congestion, occasional sleeplessness, runny nose, and cough. And like I said, it is safe for ages 2 to 12. It's very natural. It's all natural ingredients, and he actually likes the taste of this. He will actually take the little cup that you pour it into, and he will actually take it and administer it to himself on his own. I don't have to force it down him. I don't have to use a syringe and hold him down like we do with some of the other medications that he doesn't like. So he actually does a really good job of taking this, and you know, it's not like super effective like some of the things that we can use as adults, but for a child and for something that's a little more natural, it definitely helps in clearing things up a lot faster than if we weren't using this. And then the very last thing that I'm going to share with you is something that everybody should have, I guess, in their medicine cabinet or arsenal of first aid and treatments and whatnot, and that is just a good old thermometer. There are so many different thermometers out on the market. We actually have one that you put on the forehead, but I just don't find that those are super effective and accurate. We will use that one and we'll like do it several different times, and every time we do it, we get a different reading. So I like using the good old-fashioned way that they do when they're infants in the doctor's office, the hospital, and that is just doing a rectal temperature with a regular thermometer. And even though he's 2.5 right now, I still do his temperature this way, and I will continue to do it this way as long as I possibly can. There's just nothing more accurate than doing an internal rectal temperature, and so I just recommend having just a regular thermometer. It doesn't have to be fancy. This is the only one that we use on him. This is not the one that we use when we're sick and use in our mouth. I have one that's specifically for him. I actually had his name written on it, but I guess it's wore off. But I keep this in his basket of things that we have in his bathroom closet, so we know that this is the thermometer that we use for him. But it's just really good to have, especially when they're really little. You want to make sure that it doesn't spike and it stays within a normal range. It can be very, very scary when your little one has a high temperature, so I definitely recommend just a regular thermometer. The only other thing that I would say that I would recommend, and I don't have them with me because we are completely out and I didn't go and purchase more, but they're actually the cough drop suckers. I think they're made by Halls, actually, now that I think about it, but they're safe for kids. They're actually sucker like lollipops, and they work really good, especially obviously for toddler age. Gunnar is obsessed with lollipops. He loves like the little dum-dum suckers, and so it's really easy to give him those, and they work pretty well. I mean, they're not like a cough drop by any means, but they do work a lot better than if they didn't have anything. So I do recommend giving those a try as well. They're cherry flavored, they taste great, he loves them, and they work pretty well with just helping with a cough and just like any tickle that they get in their throat that is annoying and really not a lot you can do for when you're little like that. So I do recommend those, but that is everything that I swear by, everything that we use when Gunnar is sick, depending on what he is sick with. A lot of these things we use in conjunction with each other. I mean, pretty much all of these things that I've shared with you today are all things that we use on him when he has a cold and a cough. All of them together. And they're all safe and effective to use in conjunction with each other. So If you enjoyed this video, found it to be helpful, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. Like I said, I do upload videos 3 times a week, and as we are trying to conceive baby number 2, we are getting ready to start fertility treatments to do that tomorrow actually, and I will be vlogging all of that and sharing that with you. So if that is something that is of interest to you, definitely make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of that content coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching and sharing in your time with me. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!